Hi everyone, welcome back to KG Graves, the one-on-one series. Today we're at St Peter's Church and we're here to visit the grave of David Hemmings. Don't forget, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, it's free, and hit that notification bell for more videos like this. Okay, so more information about David.
Earthwoman, shall I tell you what I would like?
I think I know.
No, not like that. Like on Earth, on Earth, the pill. I have the pill.
But, couldn't we do it your way? I don't want to change your traditions.
I'm not a savage. The pill.
All right.
5 years I've waited for this experience.
Oh, wait!
David Hemmings was born David Edward Leslie Hemmings on the 18th of November 1941 in Guildford, Surrey. He was an English actor and director. David went to Allen's School, Glyn Grammar School in Ewell, and the Arts Educational Schools, which led him to music performances early in his career. He sang as a boy soprano in several works by composer Benjamin Britten. See the one-on-one video number 28, who formed a close friendship with him at this time. Most notably, David created the role of Miles in Britten's chamber opera, Turn of the Screw, 1954. Although many commentators identify Britten's relationship with David as based on an infatuation, throughout his life he maintained categorically that Britten's conduct with him was beyond reproach at all times. He had earlier played the title role in Britten's The Little Sweep 1952, which was part of Britten's Let's Make an Opera children's production. Britten's interest in David ceased abruptly from the moment his voice broke, which occurred unexpectedly while he was singing the aria Malo during a performance of The Turn of the Screw in 1956 in Paris. Britten was furious, waved David away, and never had any further contact with him. David then moved on to acting in films. He made his first film appearance in the drama The Rainbow Jacket 1954. He then appeared in St. Joan 1957. He had bigger roles in 5 Clues to Fortune 1957 and The Heart Within, also 1957. In 1959 he had roles in No Trees in the Street, Men of Tomorrow, and In the Wake of a Stranger. In the 1960s he performed in Sink the Bismarck 1960, The Wind of Change 1961, and in 1962 The Painted Smile and Some People. His first lead role was in the low-budget teen musical Live It Up 1963. Then he had a support role in The System 1964. After this he starred in a sequel to Live It Up, Be My Guest 1965, and in the same year in Two Left Feet with Michael Crawford. He had a supporting part in the thriller Eye of the Devil 1966, playing the brother of Sharon Tate. David's look changed when he was cast in the lead of Blow Up 1966. The resulting film was a critical and commercial sensation for MGM, who financed it, and helped turn David and Vanessa Redgrave into stars. He said, "I've been discovered half a dozen times. This time I think I've made it." David accepted an offer from Warner Brothers to play in the big budget film of the Broadway musical Camelot 1967. He was then cast in the epic The Charge of the Light Brigade 1968, which, like Camelot, was widely seen but failed to recoup its costs. David co-starred with Richard Attenborough in the crime comedy Only When I Laugh 1968, then was the sole star of an anti-war film The Long Day's Dying 1968. Both films flopped. More financially successful was a science fiction sex comedy Barbarella 1968, starring Jane Fonda, in which he had a key supporting role. He played the lead in 2 period films for MGM, a comedy, The Best House in London 1969, and the historical epic Alfred the Great, also 1969. Sadly, neither film did well at the box office, with Alfred the Great being a notable flop. In the 1970s and in 1970, David was cast in further lead roles: The Walking Stick with Samantha Eggar for MGM, Fragment of Fear, a thriller, and Unman, Wittering and Zigo 1971. He went to Hollywood to play a supporting role in The Love Machine 1971. David turned to directing films with Running Scared 1972, which he also co-wrote. He also directed the drama The 14 1973, which won the Silver Bear at the 23rd Berlin International Film Festival. Back in Britain, he starred in a horror film, Voices 1973. He then went to Spain to appear in Lola 1974, and then back to Britain supporting Richard Harris in Juggernaut 1974, one of my favourite films. He appeared in the Italian murder mystery film Profondo Rosso, also known as Deep Red or The Hatchet Murders 1975. Back in England, he supported Anthony Newley in Mr. Quilp 1975. In 1977, he appeared in 6 films: Islands in the Stream, starring George C. Scott, The Squeeze, The Prince and the Pauper, The Heroin Busters, The Disappearance, and Squadra Antitruther. He then directed David Bowie and Marlene Dietrich in the drama film Shona Gigolo, Armour Gigolo, also known as Just a Gigolo 1978. The film was poorly received, with Bowie describing it as "my 32 Elvis Presley films rolled into one." Also in 1978 was Blood Relatives and Power Play, and in 1979 Murder by Decree. He also returned to television in 1978 with a film for Granada TV directed by Ken Russell and written by Melvin Bragg, The Rime of the Ancient Mariner. In 1979, David received an offer to play a supporting role in an Australian vampire film, Thirst. He starred in the TV film Charlie Muffin, then returned to Australia to feature in Harlequin 1980. He was then asked to direct the Australian horror film The Survivor 1981, starring Robert Powell and Jenny Agutter. He also directed Race for the Yankee Zephyr, shot in New Zealand. While in New Zealand, David played roles in Prisoners 1981 and Beyond Reasonable Doubt 1982. David then moved to Hollywood. He played supporting roles in Man, Woman and Child 1983 and Airwolf 1984. He also worked extensively as a director of television programs, including the action-adventure drama series Quantum Leap, the crime series Magnum P.I., in which he also played characters in several episodes, and 2 action-adventure series, The A-Team, another one of my favourites, and Airwolf, in which he also acted in. He once joked, "People thought I was dead, but I wasn't, I was just directing The A-Team." David also directed the puzzle contest video Money Hunt, The Mystery of the Missing Link, 1984. He directed and acted in the television film The Key to Rebecca, 1985. He also briefly served as a producer on the NBC crime drama television series Stingray. He directed the drama film Dark Horse, 1992, and acted in the Series 3 opener for the television horror anthology Tales from the Crypt. In later years he had roles in the historical epic film Gladiator, 2000 with Russell Crowe, and in the drama film Last Orders, 2001, and the spy film Spy Game, 2001. He appeared in the historical film Gangs of New York, 2002, directed by Martin Scorsese. His last screen appearances included the science fiction action film Equilibrium, 2002, the superhero film The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, 2003, with Sean Connery, the 2003 Australian film The Night We Called It a Day. He also appeared in the horror film Blessed, 2004, with Heather Graham, which was dedicated to his memory after a fatal heart attack while on set. In 1967, David recorded a pop single, Backstreet Mirror, and a studio album, David Hemmings Happens, in Los Angeles. The album featured instrumental backing by several members of the Byrds. He also provided the narration for Rick Wakeman's progressive rock album Journey to the Centre of the Earth, 1974. He starred as Bertie Wooster in the short-lived Andrew Lloyd Webber musical Jeeves, 1975, for which an original cast album was released. In his personal life, David was married 4 times, to Janista Orvery, 1960 to 1967, actress Gail Honeycutt, 1968 to 1975, Prudence de Cassembrut, 1976 to 1997, and Lucy Williams, 2002 until his death. He met Honeycutt while he was in America promoting Blow Up, by which time his marriage to Ouvre was over. At their outdoor wedding, Henry Mancini conducted an orchestra, and the Mamas and the Papas performed next to a swimming pool filled with doves dyed puce in colour. Of his relationship with Honeycutt, David remarked, "We were the poor man's Taylor and Burton." Their marriage ended when Honeycutt discovered his affairs with actress Samantha Egger, his co-star in The Walking Stick, and his secretary, Prudence de Cassembrut. During his subsequent marriage to de Cassembrut, David continued to have extramarital relationships with, among others, Tessa Dahl. David had 6 children altogether. He and Ouvre had a daughter, and with Honeycutt he had a son, actor Nolan Hemmings, while he and de Cassembrut had 3 sons and a daughter. David suddenly died on the 3rd of December 2003 at the age of 62 of a heart attack in Bucharest, Romania, on the film set of Blessed. In 2004, his autobiography, Blow Up and Other Exaggerations, the autobiography of David Hemmings, was published. In total, he acted in 74 films between 1954 and 2007, and directed 13 times between 1972 and 1996. Let's see where his grave is located. So there you have it, the grave of David Hemmings. I hope you've enjoyed the video. See you on the next one.